A cupcake with bright frosting appears against a white background. It hops forward and gasps as it discovers 3 muffin pans that exactly look like braille cells. 7 more brightly colored cupcakes appear. At the whistled command of the original cupcake, hop into the various muffin holes to form the braille letters TBK. The muffin tins are replaced by the Blind Kitchen logo, green braille letters TBK on a white background. Fade to black.
Hello, and welcome to The Blind Kitchen. I'm your host, Deborah Erickson, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the mesh strainer. The mesh strainer is a tool that allows cooks to run a liquid through a mesh strainer, and any larger pieces of unwanted foods or bits and pieces will be trapped inside the mesh weave. This task can be especially difficult for people with vision loss because, first of all, the pieces sometimes are very hard to feel, especially if your fingers are wet. And in the case of hot liquids, we can't use our sense of tactileness to be able to pick pieces out. So the mesh strainer serves that purpose for us. The other thing about this mesh strainer is this type of model and why it was chosen. First of all, the handle is relatively short than other models, and I find that longer handles tend to trip me up and I knock them down, so that's one of the reasons this was selected. The second reason this particular model was chosen is because it has 2 metal protrusions. They're shaped like rectangles. They're on the opposite side of the handle, attached to the little mesh basket, and they serve as sort of helper handles to allow you to suspend this mesh strainer independently across the mouth of the jar or the pitcher or the bowl that you want the liquid to be strained into. This leaves both of my hands up free to continue to do my cooking. Using your mesh strainer is pretty self-explanatory. I have my mesh strainer suspended horizontally in front of me over the mouth of a small pitcher. I also have a cut orange in my left hand. Now I'm going to use my left pinky to find the cavity of the strainer, and then I'm going to squeeze the orange into that hole of the strainer so the juice falls through the strainer and down into the pitcher, but any pith or seeds that come out while I'm working with this will get trapped by the strainer. Caring for your strainer is self-explanatory as well. It's made of stainless steel and plastic, and it can be hand washed or washed in the dishwasher. I want to leave you with one more thought. There are so many times when I'm juicing a lime or a lemon or an orange, and I only need a small portion of the juice that piece of fruit produces. Cut fruit doesn't last long after it's been cut, and I hate to waste all of that leftover juice. So what I do is I get a freezer bag, and I put the leftover juice into that bag and then seal it up tightly. Then I set it on its side in the freezer into a flat, thin sheet, so the juice basically freezes into a very thin sheet of juice. Then when I go to use it, it's so thin, it's very easy to just crack it off the amount that I need. And also because it's so thin, it comes to room temperature very, very quickly. That way, the juice that I get that's been frozen is just as good as the day that I squeezed it. Thank you for spending time with us in The Blind Kitchen. We hope this new culinary tool will take some of the strain out of your cooking experience. Until next time, happy cooking.
She smiles towards the camera. Fade to black. The Blind Kitchen logo appears. Fade to black. Neo Creative Productions logo appears. The logo fades to black.